Bubba Carpenter's joining us. Bubba, I said earlier, if anybody can match my excitement, and I don't get overly excited. I mean, I've been privileged to be in this business and cover a lot of games, and sports is our life here. But, man, I'm excited about this game on Saturday night. I mean, I am so ready to go. How about you?
I don't know, Bo. I don't know. I think you got me, buddy. I've never seen you this excited about something before. It's pumping me up, man.
I'm fired up. I mean, it's like you've had a great year if you're the Razorback baseball team. You're 150 since COVID in regular season games against SEC opponents, and you've done all these amazing things this year, and none of it matters at 6 o'clock on Saturday night.
Wait, what did you 150?
Yes.
Since COVID? Did you do that, or did Bart do that
Bart
for you?
did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Chuck didn't.
That's correct.
I knew it by heart, Bubba. Yeah. I knew it by heart. They didn't have to tell me.
We have Chuck and I are responsible for the Jell-O shot count at Rocco's. Bart's got everything else.
I love it. No, hey, you're right though. Nothing matters except what happens, in Omaha. But the thing is, though, I was going back through some stuff, and like Chuck said, he knows that he knows it by heart. You think back about 21, what happened. Even the 22 game against I don't know if y'all remember being in Omaha against Ole Miss. I actually still have the box score from that game in my binder that I keep in my Razorback binder. I don't know if y'all remember, we were one game away from playing OU for the championship, and we ran up against DeLucia was his name from Ole Miss, and he shut us out 2-0. He pitched against Connor Nolan, and I remember the umpire for that game was Kevin Sweeney. Every time I see Kevin Sweeney, I kind of cringe a little bit because the strike zone wasn't very favorable for Connor Nolan. You don't like to blame it on the umpire, but I'm just saying the zone was a little off that day. And you think about stuff like that. They beat us in 2-0 game. They go on and beat OU, win the championship. I thought that was our year that we were going to do it. And then you look at the last couple of years, what has happened. You realize how hard it is to get back to Omaha. And seeing Dave in the press conference, I think that affected the players. I think that really sank in, like, hey, we want to win it for this guy. And I think they're going down there on a mission, and I think they're going to go down there and get it done. I really do.
Yeah, this team has a feel for being built for it and mentally prepared for it. What are you looking for in game one? Always talk about breaking down the game, analyzing it, but what are you looking for?
I think it's important that we do a good job against Cade Anderson. He's the best pitcher in the nation. Everyone talks about Liam Doyle from Tennessee being the best. He was pitcher of the year in the SEC. I think Cade Anderson's better. Liam Doyle doesn't have any mound presence, any composure. He'll fall apart on you, where Cade Anderson doesn't get rattled. I think a lot of it comes down to our approach against him. We've got to get his pitch count up. We've got to bring him down in the zone. He's going to try to get you to chase that high fastball. I think a lot of it comes down to our approach against him, and then obviously playing good defense. I think Zach Root's going to go out. I think he's going to do a good job on the mound. It's a big yard. I think good defense tends to win there. The difference this year, fellas, is we can score runs. Where in the past I've been like, the pitcher almost has to be perfect. These guys know now they don't have to be perfect because we're going to get you at some point. It might be the first inning, or it might be the 8th or 9th inning, but at some point this offense is going to bite you, and that's what's fun about it.
Hey, Bubba, I wonder about the advantage of an early lead, for these pitchers, because both sides are going to be trying to get the pitch count up. But just the value for someone like Root, even if it's just an early run, pitching with a lead.
No, I think it's huge, Chuck. You look back to game one against Tennessee. I think it was the 3rd inning. Cam Kojal had the dirt ball read where he scored. The ball didn't get more than 10 feet away from the plate. It was just a great baseball play, something that they work on all the time. Just having that 1-run lead kind of changed things. And I think you're right. It's huge for us to try to go out and find a way to get a lead. Boy, it'd be great if we could start the game off good. Davlon get on base. maybe Aloy hit one in the gap, something like that would be great. But if it doesn't happen, I still think Zach Root's going to do a good job shutting them down. He threw great against them at their place early in the year. So, but it would be good, if we get the offense going early. I feel real good about things.
You were talking a minute ago about getting the pitch count up on their guy. They're going to be trying to do the same thing to Zach Root. This is a hitter better than anybody, and that's why I want to ask you about this. Obviously, your objective is to get on base, get a hit every time you come to the plate. But against a really good pitcher, making him throw 6 or 7 pitches, even if he gets you out, there still can be some benefit to that later in the ballgame.
Oh, absolutely, Chuck. And that's what this team's so good at. So I call it just giving away at-bats. This team does not give away very many at-bats where they just go up there and just mail it in. They battle. They're going to find a way, even if they get to an 0-2 count, next thing you know, they're fouling off pitches and it's 3-2. And even if they make it out, those 7, 6, 7, 8 pitches, they add up. And that's what I love about this offense that we haven't really seen in the past. I mean, you think about it, we're first in the SEC in hitting. We're hitting 313 as a team. The team that went to Omaha in 22 was hitting 276 as a team. We only had 2 guys hitting over 300. That team in 22, it was Lanzilli and Michael Turner. And so you look at this offense, you're like, wow, look at all these guys hitting over 300, and they just go up there and they battle and they grind out at bats, and they're tough and they're gritty. We always say that they take on DVH's personality. These guys have. I mean, when they step up to the plate, they grind out at bats, and it's fun to watch. Now, every once in a while, you've got Vahiva, Cahill. They might have a crazy at bat where they swing at a couple sliders out of the zone. But what makes them dangerous, and the opposing pitcher knows this, if you make a mistake against one of those guys, they're going to hit it 430 feet, and that's a little bit scary to the opposing pitcher.
Bubba, you've sat in that booth with Phil for a few years now, and you've seen a lot of different teams, and you've seen a lot of different moments. And we were talking about this early in the week. As a Razorback fan, I felt like there was a lot of nervousness around the Tennessee series, the Super Regional. And I felt like after that, then it was nervousness about having to play an LSU team. Have you pivoted from nervousness to confidence? Where are you as you go into this game? Because so many times Arkansas has got to knock somebody off, right? They got to upset somebody. Arkansas is the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing.
No, early on, Bo, I was frustrated. First of all, when I saw we were going to match up with Tennessee in the Super Regional, I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks. I'm not a Tennessee fan by no means, but they should be in Omaha. They're a really good team, and it's a shame they're not in Omaha. I didn't like that matchup. And then you're looking ahead, and you're like, okay, we're going to end up with LSU first game. I didn't like it because I feel like they should be reseeded. After the Supers, I think this should be reseeded. We should be a 1 seed. They should be a 2, or them a 1, us a 2, whatever. They ought to be in the other bracket. But now I'm looking at it totally different. I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's play them first game, get it over with, knock them out, and then move on. And that's the way I feel. I kind of feel confident about it right now, where before I was a little bit angered at the way the bracket's set up. I feel like I'm not a big NCAA fan. I feel like they don't make a lot of good decisions, and I feel like sometimes the way they do that seeding, they're looking ahead saying, okay, these are the matchups we want. That way we can knock these guys out. They don't like every year that the SEC is dominating. Now, you guys can give me your thoughts on that. I might just be, I try not to be negative, but at the same time, I'm a realist. And I look at it, I'm like, well, I don't know if I like that, the way everything's set up. But, look, I feel good about the game, and we're a better team. They're really similar to us, though, pitching-wise. They do have the 2 best starters in the country, though. They're really good. But I like our lineup, and I don't know. I feel good about it, Bo.
Well, real quick before we get you out of here, I feel good about it too. By the way, David in Jonesboro, ask Bubba if he thinks this is a mouthful. If he thinks this is the best team Arkansas has ever had.
Wow, honestly, so I came on in 2018, and this is the most complete team I've ever seen us have. And it's more than just baseball, guys. It's the guys on the team. There's been years that, I go down and I do an interview after the game, and I'm like, well, I don't want to interview him. He doesn't do a good interview. I don't like talking to him. His personality's not good. These guys, I could just throw a dart. And all these guys are fun to talk to. They love each other. They get along. And it's so cool to watch them. And like, they've come out here and fished a few times. And, I'll let them take the boat up to my neighbor's got 4 or 5 ponds on his place, and I'll go up there with them and just get them started, make sure they're in the right spot and everything. But they don't need it now. Cam's the leader, without a doubt. But it's so fun to watch these guys away from baseball, and you realize, and I talked to DVH about it a few times, they're just big kids, and people don't realize that. They're just big kids having fun, and they love playing baseball. And I talk about it all the time, fellas, like the analytics sheet. You've got all these analytics, but one thing that's not on there is, does this guy love playing baseball? And these dudes love playing baseball. They love playing for the Razorbacks. They love the name on the front of the shirt. They love the state. You could see when they marched around Baum Walker. That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen at Baum. It was incredible watching those guys do that little march around the field, and it just shows how much they care. And you get a bunch of guys pulling the same direction and caring that much and having fun. They're a dangerous team, and so I hope we go there and play well. I hope we're there for 2 weeks and win it all.
Well, enjoy the moments, man.
Thank you, Bubba.
Have fun in Omaha calling the games with Phil. It'll be great.
Have a great broadcast.